We're good on audio, and we are completely live. Look at that.
Yes.
Chemlab tonight.
Now wait,
Cold
am I
Waves.
not supposed to curse and stuff?
It's a podcast.
Okay, fuck it.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
We're in front of Metro. Lovely night.
Yeah.
Lovely night for Cold Waves.
Yeah.
Chemlab, 10 o'clock tonight?
Yep, 10 o'clock, baby. It's
So-
gonna be rock and roll.
If you're watching this live on Facebook, there's still time to head over here. I mean, this is one of the greatest events the city has to offer, and it's for a good cause.
It
and
is.
For the right reasons.
It is. Yep. One of my oldest friends. Great
Jamie?
guy. Oh, yeah. He used to come out and do sound with us. He played with us on stage. I'm the guy that released the first couple of Acumen records. I used to run Fifth Column Records.
That's right, of
Yeah,
course.
because Chemlab was on this label. The guy wanted to, he had some money. It was like, he ran a club across the street from the 930 Club in D.C. where I used to work. He was like, I want to sign you. Sign me to what? To a nightclub? I don't think so. It's like, how about this? You give me access to your paycheck, and I'll put together a promo plan, and we'll record the record, which is why we got to go and record at Chicago Tracks and all of that. And then I figured, well, you know, to have some leverage with the record label, with the distributors, so that they would pay us, I had to give them new products. So, well, let's start, you know, signing other bands. So, yeah, we released the first couple of Acumen records. We toured together a bunch, and Jamie was great. He would come and he'd do sound for us, and he'd get the board rocking for about 2 songs, 3 songs. And he'd turn to the LD, to the lighting director, and he'd say, just watch the board for a minute. And the lighting director's like, dude, I'm not a sound man. What do you want from me? I can't do this shit. It's like, no, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I got it all set up. I'm a pro. And then he'd run through the crowd, jump up on stage, grab his Flying V guitar, and come and rock out with us for a couple
That's
of songs.
amazing.
Which is fantastic. And he'd hear the mix slowly drifting off of comm. He'd be like, okay, I gotta go. And then he'd run back to the board and fix it again. It was great.
That's a true multitasker.
I loved Jamie.
And
He
I
was-
should do a quick reset, because for
Yes.
those who may be listening to the podcast or watching the video,
and don't know what the fuck is going on.
they don't know what the fuck is going on. So Cold Waves, this is the 8th year
Yep.
of Cold Waves. This festival, this 3-day event, was born out of the need to raise awareness for particularly people who work in nightclubs and
Yep.
those kind of late night situations, musicians certainly, and how it can get pretty dark.
Oh yeah, it's really challenging. It was to celebrate Jamie's life that first year, and because we keep the dead alive by telling stories about them. And so it was this.
I've heard that before, but
huge
I like the
event.
way that sounds.
Well, it's, and that's what I do. I carry a lot of stories with me, both about people who are gone and a whole bunch of other stuff like life, because it's full of stories. So it was to memorialize him, to remember him, to keep him alive, and then Darkest Before Dawn became this huge charity that grew out of this and all the work that Jason and Kelly do and the whole Cold Waves family to provide support and occasionally a little bit of money for people who work at night.
It's hard.
Bartenders, door staff, sound people, and yeah, it's incredibly hard. I did it for almost 10 years. It was.
I worked in the restaurant industry for a few years when I was much younger, but there's a certain unreality to working those hours.
Yep. You're going home to bed as everyone's in the morning grind.
Right, because
You know?
you work your double shift and then you go out.
Yeah.
Then you get
Yep.
home at 5 a.m.
It's-
and it is a bit of, I guess to say it again, unreality to that world. So
It is.
this is a terrific, I hate terrific. I'm
Fan-fucking-tastic.
I'm hosting a 1950s talk show. This is a terrific
It's
event. Jerry.
neato.
It is.
Really keen.
But this is a terrific event, and I know I'm going to use this word a lot tonight as I talk to artists playing. I use it with Papalit itself, but the word community certainly comes to mind when talking about this event. And certainly long before Cold Waves, when I think about the industrial music world, it's a community.
Yep, it is indeed. And Chicago has been this sizzling, crackling hub of it for decades. And that's why we wanted to come here and record the first album. Then we did the remixes here, and then we did the second album here, and we did the third album here. We were recording at Chicago Tracks because that's where the Revolting Cocks came out, and that's where Ministry came out, and all this fantastic stuff. And to me, community is crucial. We are stronger as a tribe, and we share strengths and support each other in weaknesses. And Chicago, I never actually lived here,
But
but it
that's
has
what
felt like I have, and it
I was-
feels like home. It's always like homecoming. Like tonight's this huge homecoming night. Jimmy Marcus from D. Warsaw once called me the mayor of Chicago, and I was so touched and humbled by that.
especially because he's the mayor of Chicago, which is
Right,
weird.
I know, it was hubris. Like, yes, I am. No, I'm actually not anything of the sort.
But that's what I was going to say. I'm not mistaken in thinking that Chicago is a special place for you /
yeah.
Chemlab.
Oh yeah, no, it's home. It is, and I love being here. And it's at the first Cold Waves. I was working on a new project called Prude, and so the guitarist came with me, and we had toured a couple of years before. This guy Mark Plastic, who's this phenomenal guitarist, and so we had a million guitarists on stage. I had, I think, 11 guitarists on stage, and it was wonderful to just be there to honor Jamie. And right before the last song, I said, thank you so much for coming out. It's been really fantastic. This is our last song. This is our last song ever, because I'm breaking up the band right here, right now. And everyone went from just, joyous to elegiac in the snap of a finger. So we were dead for 6 years, and Jason, who created...
That was your Ziggy Stardust moment. That was Bowie
Yep.
saying, not only is
It
this our
was.
last song, this
It
is the last
was.
song we'll ever do.
It was. Except I went back on my word.
Yes, you did.
And Jason, who created the whole Cold Waves Festival with his wife and Darkest Before Dawn, then pestered me and said, is this breaking up shit really for real? Come on. And so finally last year I said, yeah, all right, I'll come and play. And to be suffused with the love and support and interest after 6 years of not playing was mind-boggling and
Well, these
really
songs are so
humbling.
inextricably part of who you are, aren't they? I mean,
Yeah,
walking away from that seems a little weird.
I'm a weird guy.
Fair enough.
I wanted to do other things, and I felt like an old man in the way, and that's never interested me. So I wanted to go off and do different stuff, and the reason that it came back alive and is so alive now is because the guys that I'm making music with, who are actually now part of the band and have revitalized it in really crucial, elemental ways. Dan Evans and Vince McCallie and Mikey Love, who've played in bands around here in Chicago for years. They're in a band called Dead on TV, and then they were supporting Jimmy Marcus in his band Go Fight. And I saw them at that first Cold Waves. It's like, oh, they're really good, but I'm not doing any music anymore with you guys and so on. But I stayed in touch with Dan. So Jason said, will you come and play last year? And I said, yes, but there's a caveat. I have to go and talk to someone first. So I went and talked to Dan, and I said, would you guys, we've never played together, we've hardly ever spoken.
You've just been making eyes at them.
Yeah, I was oogling them lasciviously.
Ooh.
And I said, would you do this? And he said, oh, yeah, that'd be really fun, because we've been listening to you since high school.
Oh, my God.
And they are so good. They are the band that has made it come alive again.
But isn't that important? Because you've been around this genre, this scene for as long as you have, it is important to have new ideas. Industrial music needs to evolve and change and grow and become something new for a new generation. Otherwise, we're all just going to go back to the same Wax Trax albums we grew up with.
Oh yeah. And it's got to be new and interesting and engaging and be willing to take chances, and it's got to laugh at itself. It's got to be self-deprecating and not take itself too seriously. It's one of the things that I always loved about Al and Paul was they were willing to just, laugh at themselves and laugh at the world around them, and I think that that's crucially important. Rock and roll, when it takes itself too seriously, it works from the shoulders up. And it can't. For it to be effective, it's got to hit you in the gut and go from the hips down. It's got to be sex. It's got to be sleazy and laughable, and it's got to laugh at itself as well as
As
the
you
rest
said,
of the
sleazy,
world.
I saw a sign for My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, the one of their EPs. So, I mean, that's the... Speaking of sleaze, like on cue.
Synchronicitous. So, and boy, those three boys, I'm forever grateful, because they
kind of snapped you back.
Oh yeah, hugely. And in Chicago, after having played a week of dates before this show last year, I said in the middle of the show, all right, God damn it, I guess I'm back. and the house just went nuts, and it just felt so good, and playing with them gets me excited about it again. Playing songs that I've played for 30 years,
Yeah.
and I'm excited about that, they got to be really special musicians, and they are.
Well, let's go back a while. Let's go back to the Burnout album. Like,
That's way back.
that's way back.
For you kids that don't know, that was done before they invented fucking electricity.
That's right.
way back.
I got my copy delivered by horse.
Yes.
That's how long
Yes,
ago it was.
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah. And then we went to pigeons. Yeah.
So, I mean, that was early 90s. Mm-hmm. Fascinating time for music. And I tend to go back to talking about this because it was this sea change in
Yeah.
pop culture.
Yep.
Tell me what it was like for Chemlab back around that era.
It was exciting. It was thrilling. There were a whole host of bands that were starting to come together. 16 Volt were doing stuff, Acumen were doing stuff, and a bunch of bands like, Ministry and Puppy and the Cocks, and that was almost beginning to feel like Old Guard, and we were this whole next wave of stuff, and it wasn't industrial, because industrial, to me, to call us industrial, it's a misnomer. I mean, that to me is Throbbing Gristle, it's SPK, it's, and I started calling it machine rock, and that's a term that
covers yeah.
Because it is, and people ask me, "Oh, what kind of music do you play?" And I just say rock and roll because it's easy. And then they're like, "Oh, really, rock and roll?" Like, well, if you really want to know, it's rock and roll made by broken robots who like fighting and fucking. And then they look at me like, okay, so rock and roll, right?
Yeah. I sold, by the way. That's the elevator pitch.
But it was a really exciting time. There was a lot of stuff going on, and records were just appearing like mad out of nowhere, and all these cool little labels were appearing, Reconstriction and Cargo, and like, what the fuck is all of this? and we toured and toured and toured and toured. We took the old Jay Giles approach to touring, the way you used to do it in the 70s.
And in fact, you sounded a lot like Jay Giles.
Oh, very much so. That's I'm wearing my Peter Wolf shirt right. Actually, no, this is my Cheap Trick Dream Police tribute.
There you go. Way
tonight.
to keep it Midwest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a little bit.
Oh, look at that! Look at those shoes.
Yeah, baby.
Those are badass.
Things are awesome, and
I think that's
comfortable as a motherfucker too.
That looks like what Cousin Eddie was wearing in the first National Lampoon's Vacation movie.
Yeah. See, they're the joint.
Uh huh.
So, but I have a pair of black and white checked ones that I was thinking of wearing on stage, but I haven't tested them out on stage yet. And if they're slippery, I'm screwed.
By the way, Chemlab can totally put shoes up on the furniture.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom. Shit.
It's totally fine.
But yeah, it was a great time. And we became friends with all these bands because we would just play together. And like, who are you? Oh, we're Halo Black. Like, okay, cool. That's great. Let's play. Like, okay, cool.
And back in the 90s, you thought running a label's got to be easy.
Right. What an idiot I was.
What a piece of cake that'll be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I got this guy who's got some money, and I'm building a structure for it, so let's fucking release some records. And I only released stuff that I was completely in love with.
Which you should if you're starting a label. I mean,
Oh, yeah. It's got to be a work of passion. And I'm lucky that I'm still friends with most of those people. Jason and I definitely had a couple of years where it was adversarial was a friendly term for it. But, we grow and we let a bunch of the wounds be solved and move on. But it was fun while it lasted. I put out 44 records, which was pretty cool.
That's a stunning number.
A really broad selection of stuff from just fantastic machine rock stuff like Death Ride 69. Nobody knows that record. This record's called Screaming Down the Gravity Well. And it's just so good. And I felt like, that's the record that's going to turn everything around.
That's the one.
And then all of a sudden, Final Cut put out a record with us, and that was so good, too. Like, yes, this thing is really going to go. And we hit the wall, and then, my fucking huge ass drug habit took over everything and consumed my life.
Let's talk about that if that's okay.
Oh, fuck, yeah, sure.
It's not my style to talk about this kind of thing and put artists on the spot, but this is Cold Waves, and we're talking about people who turn to drugs, who turn to booze late at night. You are sober.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
20 years?
20 years. As my little coined term goes, 20 years, no smack, no crack, no pills, no powders, no booze, no reefer, no cigarettes.
Did you do all that?
No Jesus. No Jesus.
And did you do smack and crack and all this?
Oh, yeah. I died twice. Yeah.
You have those stories where you're basically coding on a table?
Yeah. Yeah, they shocked me awake. Yep, in Minneapolis. And then in New York, years later. Yeah, yeah.
So is
Yep. I was fucked up.
what turned you what turned you around? Were those?
It was time. Neither of the times that I died actually did anything but make me realize, hey, I'm alive. Let's go celebrate and party. And I did.
Wow.
Because, well, fuck it. I was a dope fiend. Who gives a shit? I'm alive. That means I get to go and get high. And not only do I get to, I need to.
Right.
You know, you don't get high anymore. It's why they used to call it in the 50s. The Beat Generation writers, they call it getting straight. Because you weren't getting high. You were just getting back on the beam again so that you could be like other people. I was a complete and utter fuck up. And one of the worst things about it was that I had this terrible capacity to make it look good. And I was
you're a functioning addict, yeah.
I was releasing records. I was in this band that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I had a record label going, influential in some sort of way, what the fuck ever that means. And
I appreciate your self-deprecation, but...
yeah. But people looked at me and thought, well, that's cool. I can do that too. No, you can't. And I couldn't either. And there are people like the guy that helped me start the label who, he's dead now. He's dead now because of me. Yes, we're all adults and blah, blah, blah. But I could see what was coming. We were up in New York. I was living there. But the guys came up from D.C. and for CMJ, the music conference back in the 80s. And all staying at a hotel in New York. And we were out cruising around town in a limo. And it was me and my first wife, who actually I have a really good relationship with still, and Craig. And we went and scored. And we dropped him off at the hotel, and we got high in the back of the limo. We were just chasing the dragon. We weren't shooting him because that had moved out of that period for a while. And we let him off at the hotel and said, "You didn't get a spike, did you? You didn't. You're not going to shoot this up. You're just going to chase it off tinfoil, right? Or snort it, or whatever. Put it on your dick. I don't care. Just don't." He was like, "Yeah, no. I'm good. I'm good. And I came to the hotel at 7 a.m. to wake them all up and get them ready to go. And, we've got conferences and blah, blah, blah. And we were going to be performing. And I got into the room, and one of the guys was in the bed, and Craig's bed wasn't slept in. I saw the light was on in the bathroom. I was like, oh, he's probably in there. And door was locked. And I knocked and finally had to break the door down. And he was there just crumpled up in a little pile. Never.
Did you know right then and there?
Yep. Oh, of course. He didn't get the spike out of his arm, which is good because it was fast. He was an only child. I had to call his folks in Germany. I had to arrange plane flights. I had to get a funeral home. I had to work all that. I had to get them a hotel. And they were crushed, and they looked at me like I was something really special. I had helped him out. We were working this record label together, and I just felt like such a sham. Yeah. This is my fault. So I carry him around with me all the time. I have a ring that we shared, and so I wear it all the time to just keep him alive, because you keep people alive by telling stories about him. He was a great guy. He was a fascinating and bizarre and hilarious character. So I've spent 20 years trying to just be as honest about that stuff as possible, and
it's
help
important.
People out.
Yeah. Especially at an event like this, it's important.
Yeah.
Like, you walk that path.
Oh, yeah.
You are really fucking lucky to be here.
No kidding. I really am.
Is it hard to connect with music that you created when you were in that state? Do you recognize the person who wrote those songs?
Oh, sure. Because he's still in there. Oh, yeah. And it's not like I'm a different guy. I'm just a guy who has better control over that guy. That guy gets to come out on stage.
Right.
And being on stage, especially with this band now, Dan and Mike and Vince, it's so good that it gets me so fucking high. And I never knew that was what I was actually searching for, doing all the drugs. That high on stage fucks me up.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. And I'm gone. And there are times when I completely disassociate. I don't remember where I've been for the past 10 minutes. And so that guy gets to come out. But he's not drug and booze fueled anymore. He's fueled by rock and roll and art. Because that guy he's not the guy that takes my kid to school.
Right.
He's not the guy that goes and shops. He's not the guy that, tries to hold life together. He's not the guy who's a good husband. Believe me, I love you, baby. Thank you for 20 years of sticking with my insane, fucked up ass. When he rules the show, everything is fucked up and everything goes off the rails. But just because he doesn't rule the roost doesn't mean he isn't in there.
Makes sense.
He's there. So yeah, I recognize him. Definitely. I wrestle with him a bunch. You know, he's a powerful motherfucker. He's a powerful motherfucker.
Sure.
So, yeah, no, I get it. I see him. I connect with him. You know, he's pissed off he doesn't get to play more. But he plays hard on stage because he knows he's got 45 minutes or an hour.
That's
he's
his
like,
moment.
God, I got to use this now. So the beast comes fucking out. And that's okay.
This is good perspective, I think. See, I can't see when people or who's sending messages. Someone says, "Please say hello for me." So hello.
Hello.
I don't know. I don't know who just said that.
I don't know who said it, but thank you for listening. And this guy is a blast, and this is loads of fun. And
we're in a car in front
Hi.
of Metro, which is just
We
surreal.
are.
The Cubs and Cards are playing like a block away.
yeah,
which
they
is
are. Big rivalry.
just-
Big
yes,
rivalry.
The honorary Chicagoan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, this
well,
is
and I coach my son's baseball team.
There
too,
it is.
So, you know.
talking about darkness and music, etc. The covers that you chose to do a couple years ago on an album, these are all darkish kind of songs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sister Midnight.
Yeah.
That Roxy Music song is.
In Every Dream, Home a Heartache. Yeah, with music by Jim Coleman, who performed. He started Cop Shoot Cop, and then he's been with Swans for years. Yeah, but I mean, they're all like the records that I released on Fifth Column.
Yeah.
They're all songs that have been really important to me, except the Air song. I just wanted to fuck it up.
Sexy
'cause
Boy?
It's so pretty, and I wanted to just make a messy, massive shit out of it, which we did. Jason McNinch, who's now also gone, who's a huge Chicago character. He played a lot of the guitar on that record, and so it's a nice way to keep him going too.
All right, so looking past tonight, and again, 10 o'clock for Chemlab if you're watching
Yep.
this.
And I got to go and put on my lacy bow undergarments pretty soon.
Yeah, I realize I'm underdressed. I should be wearing like a dog collar and a ball gag tonight.
Whatever works. Whatever works.
Something vinyl.
Yeah, maybe so. I won't have any vinyl on. I sweat enough as it is.
There it is.
Jesus.
All right, so after you played tonight at Cold Waves, you've got this band, you're reinvigorated. Where's Chemlab headed next? Not necessarily on tour, but like spiritually or albums and.
I'm releasing records now with a great old friend of mine in England. He started a label years ago called Armalite Industries, and he puts out Pig and Cubanate and C-Tech and a whole host of other really cool stuff. Joy Thieves from Chicago. You'll be hearing a lot But
There are like 20 people in that band.
Yep. Good luck. Good luck. Boy, that's tough at the airport. So we're going to re-release Burnout in April. We're going to do it on vinyl for the first time
You buried the
ever.
lead on that one, as we were talking about.
Well,
Okay.
So we're going to put it out on vinyl, and then there will be a CD version that's the original record, and then another disc of cassette demo tapes that nobody's ever heard before, some of which I'm selling tonight.
That's awesome.
And then in June, we'll do Eastside Militia on vinyl, which is impossible to find. And Burnout was never on vinyl. And then we'll do a CD with outtakes and cassette stuff. And then I'll be working on, with these guys, new music.
Awesome.
So
You're busy.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Because they've completely revitalized the old goat. So I'm like, man, let's make music. I'm coming out from under the bridge. So I'm not dead yet. So,
Thank God for that.
Yeah, it's
Glad
pretty
you're here.
cool. It's pretty cool. I'm thrilled to be here, and thrilled that people actually care, that they're interested and willing to come and see shows and buy merch and my weird limited edition books and stuff. And it's kind of humbling.
We've come for the machine rock.
Hey man, I will deliver. I will
All right.
deliver.
Thank you for doing this. Tonight at Metro, it's Cold Waves night number 1, Chemlab. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Carco & Carney, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. This is where I make the video go away.
Yes. No. Bye-bye.
Awesome.